What is going on, my YT gang? Y'all already know what it is, man. This is your boy Rio, and if you are new, then welcome to the channel. Now, today we going to Cincinnati, in which we already know what's going on with them, man. They got a high-power offense. They struggle on defense. So what are they going to do this year? Will they make the playoffs or will they miss out on it? Now, if you guys don't know about First Things First, they got a show over there in which my boy Nick Wright, he just has absolutely no faith in the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're going to talk all about that today. But before we get into this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2.3K. So if you guys can help me out with that, I would gladly appreciate it. And make sure y'all get down in them comments below and let me know how y'all feeling about this whole situation. Let's take a look.
So I think that the reason we were excited and even talking about this is because they get off to these slow starts. And Brew has said a bunch of times correctly, if they had, butterfly flaps its wings, things are different. But if they had, you just switch week one from a loss to a win, they make the playoffs. And that's true. But had they made the playoffs last year, they would have won the same amount of playoff games they won last year, which is 0, which is why I don't think it's going to be different. That Bengals team last year, everybody acts like, oh man, no, they were the team nobody wanted to play if they got in. They were not playing some great ball at the end of the year. You guys remember their winning streak at the end? One game, the Cowboys with Cooper Rush have them beat. And then there is just a comedy of errors that leaves Micah beside himself and they escape. They then play a Broncos team, second to last week of the year, that how good was the Broncos? Good enough to get beat by 24 in the playoffs. They go to overtime. The final game of the year against a limping Steelers team that the Bengals have to win to have a chance. The Steelers have the ball at midfield down 2 with a minute left. And so this idea that Cincinnati, oh man, if they had gotten in, if the Chiefs backups had beaten Denver and Cincinnati had taken Denver's playoff spot, you know what Cincinnati would have done in the playoffs? The exact same thing Denver did. Get mollywopped by a real contender in Buffalo.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because, there's a lot of things. Well, there are a couple of things that I disagree with. Now, I do want to say I get what he's saying about the last 3 games, but when it comes to the season, we all know how it goes in the game of football, man. Every game is not pretty, okay? As long as you come out with that win, that's all that matters. Especially when it comes to the Steelers. That's a divisional game. It don't matter if they're hurt or not. We all know how the divisional games go, okay? Sometimes it just be tough to get past that one little team, man. And that's just how it is. It's always a close game. You know what I'm saying? Go down to the nitty gritty. Now, one thing I will say though, okay? I understand what he's saying about the Denver Broncos and how they got beat by 24 points in the playoffs, but being realistic, man, this is the Cincinnati Bengals. And when it comes to my boy Joe Burrow, I cannot count him out. It does not matter how bad they play in the regular season. If they make it to the playoffs, I am not counting Joe Burrow out. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. This is the man that had the most passing touchdowns in the regular season last year. He had the most passing yards in the regular season last year. And out of all of that, he was 4th in most sacks, okay? He was 4th and still managed to get almost 5,000 yards and 40-plus touchdowns last year. You can't count nobody out like that, okay? This is a high-power offense. Yes, the defense struggles. I already know how it goes when it comes to the defense, but man, with that high-power offense, you never know. You never know. They have, when you look at their receiver set, okay, both of their receivers, they have 2 receivers that was in the top 10 when it comes to touchdown catches last year. Jamar Chase, which he had the most in the NFL, and then sitting there at number 6 with my boy Higgins, all right? You talking about a Jamar Chase that had the most receiving yards in the NFL last year. He was flat out the best receiver last year. That is the team that we're talking about. So, yes, like I said, when it comes to their defense, they got a lot of work to do. But I still cannot count them out if they make it to the playoffs. Let's see what else he had to say.
And I would have scored more than what Bo Nix score, 7 points?
Well, we say that. They scored, they had a must-win, theoretical win in your end game in week 17 against a Steelers team that hadn't won in a month. Yeah. They scored 19. What did
they do the last time they went to Buffalo in the playoff game?
Well, that was 3 years ago.
Why? Because of that guy that's right behind
Listen,
Miles.
I think Burrow's great. I think he is a great player. But the idea that firing Lou Anarumo and hit the mark, not having Trey Hendrickson is all of a sudden now we're going to outscore people even more. I just don't buy it.
Well, look, they need their new defensive coordinator, Al Golden, to pull a Vic Fangio. Remember that 2 years ago, we thought the Philadelphia defense was horrific. Now, they had some good draft picks, but Fangio turned them around
the other thing is
that's what has to happen.
At least
not to the top of the league, but
at least
half of the league.
Philly went from best defense in the league to one of the worst back to the best. Because when Philly made the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they were the number 1 defense. So at least they had the bones of it. Like Cincinnati, I just don't think has the personnel. I don't think Lou Anarumo was the problem.
Now, the one thing I gotta say it, their defense is the main reason they did not make it to the playoffs. We all know this, flat out. We all know this, all right? You're looking at their numbers, they were 25th in total defense, okay? They were 21st in passing defense. They was 25th in scoring, 30th in the red zone, okay? And then when it comes to third down defense, they was 23rd. They could not get off the field. And because of that, I am convinced that if they did not find a way to make this defense better, they won't make it to the playoffs. They won't. It don't matter how good the offense is. If they have a game to where they are not clicking, they're not scoring, and you looking at these numbers, if it's the same defense that they got or the same defense that they had last year is going to be playing this year based off of these numbers, I'm not going to say that they're going to make it, okay? They need a defense. They at least need a decent defense. Looking at these numbers, they were somewhere around maybe the top 25, which is not good. So I will end the video with saying this. If they found a way to make this defense better, in which they won't be able to do that unless they finalize this contract with you-know-who, okay? If they get that finalized, if he's on the team, if they made the defense better, they added to the defense, then I would definitely say that they will make it to the playoffs. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation. Do y'all think the Cincinnati Bengals will make it to the playoffs, or will they fall short again? Drop them things down in the comment below. I got to get up out of here. I love you guys. I'm going to get at y'all on the next one. Yeti.